students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous class, we read about Mahatma Gandhi and his Satyagraha. Today we will cover Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh incident and Khilafat movement. After 1919, the struggle against British rule gradually became a mass movement. It involved many new social groups. It involved peasants, it involved students, tribals, women, and certain business groups. You will see all these as the lesson progresses. So let us begin with the Rowlatt Act of 1919. In March 1919, the government passed the Rowlatt Act. This act totally changed the political atmosphere in the country. This law was passed hurriedly by the Imperial Legislative Council, despite opposition from all the elected Indian members. This law firstly curbed fundamental rights such as freedom of expression and second strengthened police powers. It gave the government enormous powers to repress political activities and allowed detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. Gandhiji, Jinnah and many others felt that the government had no right to restrict people's basic freedom. They criticized this law as tyrannical. So Gandhiji gave a call for a satyagraha against this unjust law. He called upon the people to observe 6th of April as the day of hartal, fasting and prayers. Gandhiji's call received a widespread response. Hartals and protest meetings were held all over the country. Rallies were organized in various cities. Workers went on strike in railway workshops. Shops closed down. The protests were particularly intense in Punjab. Mahatma Gandhi was detained while proceeding to Punjab. In Amritsar, martial law was imposed and General Dyer was given the command. More than 4 people could not form a group and meet at a place. This was done to prevent any type of protest against the government. Martial law is a temporary rule by military authorities. It accompanies suspension of civil rights. There is a ban on public assemblies. On 13th of April, the day of Baisakhi, a large crowd of people, many of whom were visitors from neighboring villages, had come to the town to attend the Baisakhi celebrations. Dear students, for your knowledge, Baisakhi is an important festival in Punjab and Haryana. Baisakhi marks the harvest of the Rabi crop and farmers pay their tribute by thanking God for a good harvest. Devotees visit Gurdwaras to offer prayers and fairs are organized. So these people gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. They were unaware of the martial law that was imposed there. Some other people also came there to protest the government's repressive measures. When Dyer got this news, he got angry. He felt that his orders were disobeyed. So he blocked the narrow exit and without giving any warnings, opened fire at the crowd. As a result, hundreds of innocent people were killed. This incident is known as Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Dyer had no regrets for his action. He defended his action in an inquiry held later on, saying that this was to produce a moral effect, to create in the minds of satyagrahis a feeling of terror and awe. The country was shocked. As this news spread, people took to streets in many North Indian towns. There were strikes, there were clashes with police and attacks on government buildings. The government responded with brutal repression. The governor of the Punjab province supported the killings and on April 15 placed the entire province under martial law. Protesters were publicly humiliated. They were asked to crawl on the roads. You can see people crawling in figure 3. People were required to pass through a street like a 4-footed animal. They were asked to rub their nose on the ground. Men were flogged in public. They were asked to do salam, that is salute, to all the sahibs. Some villages For example, around Gujranwala, which is in Pakistan, part of Punjab today, were bombed. Seeing violence spread, Gandhiji called off the movement. So, students, you must have observed how Rowlatt Satyagraha led to Jallianwala Bagh incident. I hope you have understood Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh story. Let us now discuss Khilafat issue. The First World War had ended with the defeat of Turkey. Can you name any other country that was defeated in the First World War? Yes? Was it Germany? Okay. Which country signed a harsh and humiliating treaty at Versailles? Was it Germany? Okay. Which country was forced to pay 6 billion pounds as compensation? Germany. That means the picture is clear before you. Central powers lost to allies. That means Germany, Austria and Ottoman Turkey lost. So students, if you are in the losing side, you have to pay the price. Germany paid the price then, now it is the turn of Turkey. Soon after the war, British and its allies partitioned Turkey. The Sultan of Turkey was deprived much of his authority. Here what you need to understand is that the Sultan of Turkey was not simply a ruler. In addition to being a ruler, he was the Khalifa. That is, the supreme religious head of all the Muslims across the world. Students, sometimes you may be asked, why is the movement for Turkey called Khilafat movement? Actually, the term Khilafat has come from the word Khalifa. Therefore, the movement over the question of injustice to Turkey was called Khilafat movement. So, the Sultan was the political head of Turkey plus religious head of all Muslims in the world. Therefore, the Muslims in India wanted to bring pressure upon the British to change its policy towards Turkey. They wanted the allies to be little liberal towards the Khalifa. Hence, in 1920, the Khilafat movement was started by Ali brothers, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, to protect the Khalifa. They discussed with Gandhiji if there was a possibility of a united mass action on the issue. The Rowlatt Satyagraha that we were talking just before the Khilafat issue had turned out into an all-India struggle, but it was still restricted to cities and towns. Mahatma Gandhi at this stage felt that there was need to launch a more broad-based movement in India, but he knew that such a movement was not possible without bringing the Hindus and Muslims together. So Gandhiji was already waiting for such an opportunity. So when the proposal came from the side of Ali brothers, he readily grabbed the opportunity and agreed to support the movement because he saw in it an opportunity to bring Muslims under the umbrella of a unified national movement. A special session of Congress was called in Calcutta in September 1920. It was held under the presidency of Lala Lajpat Rai. In this session, Gandhiji convinces the leaders the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat, against the Jallianwala Bagh incident and Swaraj. Many leaders within Congress did not want to boycott the council elections which were scheduled for November 1920. So there was an intense tussle within the party whether to go with Gandhiji's program or to participate in the elections. Finally, in the Congress session at Nagpur in December 1920, the program of non-cooperation Khilafat movement was adopted. Gandhiji got the green signal to go ahead with his program. So let me stop here, students. It is question answers time now. Students, now you should be able to answer these questions. 1. What was Rowlatt Act? 2. Why did Gandhiji decide to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act 1919? This has come as a 3-mark question in 2010. 3. How did people show their disapproval towards Rowlatt Act? 4. When did Jallianwala Bagh incident take place? 5. Explain Jallianwala Bagh incident. 6. What was Khilafat movement? 7. Why did Gandhiji consider it important to support the Khilafat movement? And lastly, what was the outcome of Congress session at Nagpur in 1920? In the next class, we will read the next unit, Different Strands Within the Movement. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.